What if I told you that one of the greatest creators of our generation didn't start with fame, money, or even a face? He started with silence, a broken computer, and a dream. Before millions knew his name.
This is weird.
Before his videos broke the internet.
Wait, Sam, just take my bucket. Just take my bucket.
What? Where?
Before the Dream SMP became the most watched Minecraft series of all time, there was just a kid who refused to follow the rules, who got arrested for skipping school, and who turned his pain into power. This is the story of Dream.
Hi, my name is Clay, otherwise known as Dream.
Dream, or Clay, as the world would later learn, wasn't supposed to be a YouTuber.
Yes, I worked before, and then I really wanted to do YouTube my entire life. I wanted to be an author. There's a lot of things I wanted to do, but YouTube was one of them that I've been around for a very long time. I did some management stuff behind the scenes a little bit.
In a small Florida neighborhood, he grew up surrounded by trees, screens, and silence. His world was mostly online. And even though he had family, what he really wanted was connection, a way to express himself. But school? That didn't fit him. He wasn't failing because he couldn't learn. He was failing because he couldn't care about what they were teaching. His teachers saw defiance, but inside it was something else, frustration. He wanted to create, to write, to build, to think. But instead, he was stuck inside a system that told him to memorize and obey. So, he rebelled. Dream started skipping school, not to cause trouble, but to escape a world that didn't understand him. Eventually, that rebellion caught up to him. Police showed up at his door. He was arrested for truancy, literally, for not going to school. It was a turning point. He could have been labeled a failure right there, but instead, it became fuel. After the arrest, his parents tried everything to control him, taking away his computer, cutting off the internet, limiting his screen time, but Dream didn't stop. He found ways around it. He snuck cables, hid laptops, and figured out how to get back online. Because for him, the internet wasn't just entertainment, it was freedom. It was his world. When his parents unplugged the Wi-Fi, they were unplugging his lifeline. Online, he could be himself, creative, funny, analytical, curious. Offline, he was just a misunderstood kid. He made online friends, wrote stories, built little worlds in Minecraft.
Like, what makes your videos, your art impactful?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I do so much different stuff, but I guess in my mind, it's kind of under it all kind of has one central theme, and that I love to entertain people. Obviously, my biggest thing was through storytelling. I love storytelling. I grew up wanting to be an author. I wrote 2 75,000 word novels when I was like 16.
He didn't have money or status, but he had imagination, and that was enough. When Dream was 15, everything crashed. His family moved, and he lost the few friends he had left. Suddenly, his digital escape wasn't enough to hide the loneliness. He became depressed. Not the sad for a week kind, but the dark hole kind. He didn't see a future for himself. He didn't think he'd ever fit into the world. At his lowest point, he realized something that would define the rest of his life. If the world won't build a place for you, you build your own world. That's what Minecraft became to him. More than a game, it was a mirror. A space where rules didn't trap you, they empowered you. A place where imagination was intelligence. One day, Dream decided to stop fighting everything. He accepted that, to change his life, he'd have to play the game, just smarter than everyone else.
Applying, strategy and marketing and these things to make sure that most people can see it. And in my mind, I've always had that vision of like, I want to have the biggest impact I can on the world, like while I'm here. And so I think that, marketing and a strategy and all those things are just the vessel to do that with my content.
He switched to Florida Virtual School, an online program, and burned through his classes faster than anyone expected. By 16, he was already teaching himself networking, cybersecurity, and programming. While other kids were wasting time on homework they didn't care about, Dream was earning tech certifications, hardware, software, networking. He even started coding Minecraft servers. When he couldn't afford to hire developers, he taught himself Java to do it alone. Every problem was a puzzle. Every obstacle was an algorithm waiting to be solved. His brain, the same one that got him in trouble at school, was now building the foundation of a creator's empire. At 18, Dream landed a job at AppleCare, working tech support.
I got a job working at Apple, and that was, again, I used a lot of my certifications and stuff when I was 18.
You worked at Apple?
I worked at Apple, so Apple Care, so it was.
Okay,
got it. But it was at Apple, and I was
still Apple. Yeah.
And I was I actually was the highest level of support at Apple Care. So essentially, I had like a phone number that you could call, like important clients and stuff could call to get the problems that, like, if you went through 10 people and they couldn't solve it, then it would get to me.
Oh, interesting.
And again, I actually learned a lot of stuff there that played into YouTube. Like, I learned how people think, like, because one thing they taught at Apple was, and I went through, like, it was like a 3-month training before I even got the job. And it was like one thing that they taught strongly was, like, you're not just fixing a problem, you're fixing a person. Like the person, their problem might not just be the problem. They might have a problem with the last 10 people they talked to. They might have a problem with, they might have a problem with just the day they're having.
He started at the bottom, answering basic questions. But within months, he rose to the highest level of support. That's where he learned something crucial. You're not just fixing problems, he'd say later. You're fixing people. He realized that every call, every complaint was a person. Scared, frustrated, confused, and if you could calm them, you could control the situation. That lesson would later become the secret to his storytelling. He learned how to read emotion, how to predict reactions, how to turn chaos into trust. Apple didn't just teach him tech, it taught him human psychology. By 19, Dream had saved about $20,000. He was living alone, comfortable, stable, and bored. Because in his heart, he knew he wasn't meant to fix iPhones. He was meant to build worlds. So one day he quit. No backup plan, no YouTube channel, no audience. Just a belief that he could outthink the system. He told himself, if I can study YouTube like I studied networking, I can win. And so he did. For the next 6 months, Dream obsessed. He analyzed hundreds of videos, frame by frame, second by second, studying thumbnails, titles, intros, audience retention. He treated YouTube like code, a system he could crack.
I've been uploading YouTube videos since I was like a little kid. Like I did these like kid versus wild videos where like I was in the forest with my friends when I was like 10 and 11.
Like you were vlogging. Like
yeah. I did like I had this vlog series where I like talked about like Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and then at some point I went through a phase where I wanted to be an editor, so I started editing, and I edited like montages of like football players, and then I went into like song parodies at some point, and I kind of went through all these different phases as a YouTuber.
He even studied Mr. Beast, tracking how he structured every video. Dream noticed something tiny. Mr. Beast never used clickable links in his videos. Why? Because it distracted viewers from watching to the end. Details like that became his obsession. Every frame mattered. Most creators make videos to express themselves. Dream made videos to understand people. And soon, the faceless kid who got arrested for skipping school would become the most watched name on YouTube. When Dream started uploading, he wasn't trying to be famous. He was just curious. He wanted to see how far strategy, data, and creativity could take someone on YouTube if they played it like a game. And that's the thing about Dream. While everyone else was chasing trends, he was studying patterns. He noticed something that most creators ignored. Every successful video had one thing in common: emotion. It didn't matter if it was comedy, fear, or adrenaline. The best videos made you feel something.
Bye. You're not gonna make it. Bye.
So Dream set out to make people feel intensity in Minecraft, not just watch it. He realized that YouTube wasn't about pixels or gameplay. It was about stories. And when he made that discovery, everything changed. Dream's first few videos didn't blow up overnight. They were methodical. He tested thumbnails, retention curves, titles, pacing, treating YouTube like an experiment. He wasn't just guessing, he was engineering virality. Every upload was data, another piece of the puzzle that would later define the Dream SMP era. But what really separated Dream from the rest was his philosophy. If you want to stand out, you can't just do what works. You have to do what could only work for you. He wasn't copying Mr. Beast or PewDiePie or anyone else. He was building something different, a hybrid between storytelling and competition, between chaos and control. And when Minecraft Speedrunner vs 3 Hunters hit the algorithm, YouTube changed forever. That video didn't just perform well, it rewrote what was possible on the platform. In less than a year, Dream went from unknown to one of the fastest growing creators in YouTube history. His channel exploded past 10 million subscribers, his face became a mystery, and his fans turned his story into a movement. But behind the screen, Dream wasn't celebrating, he was calculating. Each success was fuel for the next idea. He wasn't chasing numbers, he was building longevity. He told himself, anyone can go viral, but not everyone can stay relevant, and that became his obsession to sustain the impossible. The secret? Collaboration. Dream didn't want to be the only star. He built a universe, the Dream SMP, and invited his friends into it. Each member brought their own energy, their own storylines, their own audiences.
My 2 roommates right now and my best friends for the longest time, George Not Found and Sapnap, they both went under different names, and we were friends for a very long time. And when my first video blew up, and then I was okay, this could just be one and whatever. I think I know what I'm doing. I think I have a good strategy, but I'm gonna apply it a couple more times, see what happens. I had video, it kept doing well. I went to first George and then Sapnap, and I was like, hey, I think I cracked the code to YouTube. I think I know how, whatever, but I was like, but I need you. I need you to be a part of it, and I need Sapnap to be a part of it. And so I went to him and I was like, if I have a plan and I tell you it, and you follow it, will you follow it to a T, essentially? And we follow it together, and we put it together. And he was like, yes. And we sat there. I came up with the name George Not Found and Sapnap.
Suddenly, Minecraft wasn't just a game. It was cinematic storytelling. Dream and his team turned improv roleplay into digital theater, complete with arcs, villains, betrayals, and redemption. They weren't playing for fun anymore. They were writing history. And here's the genius of it all. Dream blurred the line between real life and fiction. Every episode, every stream, every tweet became part of a living narrative. Fans didn't just watch, they participated. They theorized, they drew fan art, they built timelines. The Dream SMP wasn't content, it was culture. Behind the scenes, Dream was orchestrating it like a director. He understood how to give each creator their spotlight while keeping the story cohesive. And when the emotional payoffs hit, the duels, the betrayals, the deaths, it felt real. People cried. People screamed. Minecraft had never felt this alive, but that success came with a price. Because when your world becomes that big, when millions of eyes are watching your every move, the line between character and creator starts to blur. And for Dream, that line almost disappeared. He wasn't just the guy who made fun videos anymore. He had become a symbol of creativity, of mystery, of perfection. And symbols, unlike people, don't get to make mistakes. That's when Dream started to understand the weight of fame. The more he tried to control the story, the more unpredictable it became. Every post, every silence, every rumor became a new chapter written by the internet. And no matter how smart you are, you can't out-strategize the chaos of the crowd. Yet, in that storm, Dream learned something profound. You can't build a legacy without taking hits. You can't inspire millions without being misunderstood by some. And you can't be truly creative without risking failure in public. He once said, "People think success means you're always winning, but it actually means you've lost more times than they've even tried." It's that mindset, that resilience, that kept him going. When criticism hit, he listened. When burnout came, he paused. When fame felt overwhelming, he turned to what started it all: storytelling.
Oh, no!
Dream didn't vanish when things got hard. He adapted. He shifted focus, took creative control of his music, and started exploring new ways to connect with his audience. The story wasn't over. It was just evolving. And that's the beauty of Dream's journey. It's not about perfection, it's about evolution. From a kid with a dream to a creator who reshaped a platform, every chapter of his story is a reminder. You don't need permission to start. You just need the courage to begin. For years, the world knew Dream only as a voice. A smooth, confident, faceless voice, paired with a green, smiling mask. He was the ghost of YouTube, untouchable, anonymous, perfect. Every frame of his videos, every line in his scripts, every tweet he posted was curated, calculated, and in control. He had created something powerful, a symbol. The mask wasn't just an image, it was protection. Behind it, Dream could be anyone. He could make mistakes, experiment, laugh, fail, and no one would know it was him. But symbols have a cost. The more people loved Dream, the less they knew Clay, the man behind the screen. And over time, that gap between the creator and the human started to consume him. He's admitted it in interviews. The pressure was unreal. Every decision had millions of eyes waiting to judge it. Every silence turned into a theory. Every rumor grew into a headline. It wasn't just fame, it was surveillance, an invisible stage that never turned off. And one day, Dream realized something terrifying. He wasn't living his story anymore. The internet was. That's when he started planning something impossible, a face reveal, a moment that would destroy the mask and set him free. But Dream didn't rush it. He planned it like a heist. Every step was deliberate, every detail chosen with surgical precision. He started by showing his face privately to friends.
So, I'm just sitting here waiting for Dream to show up. Sound up went to go get him. It's all happening right now. That's me just 2 minutes away from meeting my best friend Clay, or as you may know him as, Dream. We first met each other on the internet over 7 years ago, and today I'm finally going to meet him in real life for the first time ever. Also, I have never seen his face before. No joke. But I'm gonna be moving from England to Florida to move in with him anyway. What could possibly go wrong? Oh my god. Hey! We did it! Yeah!
One by one, creators he trusted. Each reaction was filmed, each emotion captured. He was testing the waters, measuring how the internet might react when the mystery was gone. The anticipation built for months. Every tweet, every leak, every whisper became part of the storm. His fans speculated endlessly. Sketches, theories, edits, countdowns. No one had ever seen a reveal like this. It wasn't just curiosity, it was obsession. Then the day came, October 2nd, 2022. Dream sat in front of the camera, nervous, breathing slow, hands trembling slightly. The man who had built an empire off confidence suddenly looked human. He smiled, hesitated, and said the words millions had been waiting for. Hi, I'm Dream.
Guys, 100 million likes and I take off the blanket, okay? Until then, you don't get it. You don't get it. 50 million subs and we remove the blanket. This is it. Come on, subscribe. Please. I'm so nervous. Do I just drop it? Alright, for real. I'm dropping it. Hi. It feels so awkward. Talking to a camera for the first time. Hi. My name is Clay, otherwise known as Dream online. May have heard of me, may have not. Maybe you clicked on this video just out of pure curiosity and you don't care who I am. But now you've seen my face, and so obviously you know who I am, and I'm just so cool. I don't know. Probably a lot of you are probably wondering, why now? Why are you finally revealing your face? You haven't shown your face this entire time. And it's because George, he's my best friend. He's been in the UK trying to get a visa to come to America, to come move here and move in with me and Sapnap, who have been living together. If you've seen my other videos, Manhunt, so on, you've met them. If not, then you should. They're awesome. And in about, I don't know why I don't have a watch on. It's like, okay, George is going to be in the airport, and I'm going to meet him for the first time. I've known him so long, it feels like my entire life. I mean, Sapnap I've known since I was like 11, literally. That is a long time, a very long time. George, he's uploading a video on his channel where he meets me for the first time, shows up at the Dream Team house, he'll meet Patches. My goal was to just start doing things, get out, meet creators, say hi to my friends finally. Just get out in the world, be an actual creator, be a person. I've been bunkered up. You don't know, the people trying to leak my face, trying to find out what I look like, there's too many. It's a little just a tiny bit too much. Kind of in the sweet spot where it's like, yeah, a lot of people don't like me, they still do it. A lot of people do like me, they might also still do it. You know, I love you guys, but sometimes they're a little far.
And for a few seconds, the world stood still. Then, chaos. The internet erupted. His face reveal video got millions of views within hours. Every social media platform was flooded. Reactions, edits, memes, love, and hate, all colliding in one digital explosion.
Hi, this is me. This is what I look like. So, what are you...
Hey! Yeah, how's it going, man? There you are.
Nervous. Ah! Oh my gosh!
No way!
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yo! Wait, you're frozen right now. I have no idea what I was expecting.
Oh, there you go. It's over there.
Yo, hi! Close, what the hell? You are so handsome, bro.
It was like watching a god step down to earth, only to realize the crowd didn't want a man. They wanted the myth, because the reaction wasn't what he expected. The mystery was gone, and in its place came cruelty, relentless, merciless cruelty. Some mocked his appearance, some turned his photo into a meme, some created entire threads, hours long, just to insult the way he looked. It was dehumanizing. The same internet that once idolized him was now tearing him apart. It wasn't a critique, it was a witch hunt. Dream, the strategist, the perfectionist, the creator who had conquered the algorithm, was now facing the darkest side of it. Imagine it. You hide your face for years, protect it like a secret. Then one day, you finally decide to show the world who you are, and instead of relief, you get hate. Instead of celebration, you get humiliation. Instead of freedom, you get noise. That's what Dream lived through. Millions watching, millions talking, millions laughing. For weeks, the internet forgot he was a person. He was just content again, except this time, he was the content. And here's what makes it chilling. He knew it might happen. That's the kind of mind Dream has. Analytical, always prepared for every outcome. But even he couldn't have predicted how vicious it would be. He later said that he expected some criticism, but not the tidal wave that came.
I would assume the biggest question that the world is wondering is like, do you regret the face reveal now that you're putting the mask back on? And as you grow, like music has the opportunity to blow you up even further.
Yeah, I definitely don't regret the face reveal. I think to me, it's like, in order to live my life, I feel like I had to do the face reveal. And I was in this constant state of like paranoia and like, my life is way better now that I'm able to like actually live my life and do what I want. And so I don't regret the face reveal whatsoever. But obviously I think that if given the fact that like, let's say I had this mask and we could go back, like I would maybe do things slightly differently, but it's also hard to say that because it could create a chain of events where things go differently after that, with like almost everything. And so I'm pretty comfortable. And I think with music, it's like, I want to tell these stories. And in my mind, it's like, yeah, okay, if it involves me, being more famous in order to impact as many people as I possibly can while I'm here on Earth and living my life, then please, I want everyone that possibly can to hear my stories and to be impacted by them, whether whatever emotion they feel, I want them to feel something. And I feel like that's if that comes at the price of more people, let's say being slightly more annoying, going into Walmart or something, then it's like, okay.
I can imagine that's really annoying, right? Like, not like annoying, but like you have to think about it. It's not like you can go to a coffee shop, right?
It's annoying. It's annoying in the way that like, I'll get up and be like, I want to go to 7-Eleven to get like a drink. And then I'll be like, I have to get like actually dressed. I can't just go out and like,
and do you have to have security with you too?
No. I almost never do. I mean, I obviously I have security if I'm going to like a big event.
Yeah, VidCon or something like that. Yeah.
It wasn't about disliking him. It was about dehumanizing him. That experience broke something in him and rebuilt something else. After the face reveal, Dream went silent for a while. He stepped back, reevaluated, and started seeing fame through a different lens. He realized that anonymity had never been a curse. It had been his shield. And once it was gone, the internet didn't just see him, it consumed him. He started talking openly about the pain of that moment, how it changed his perspective. He learned that the world doesn't actually want perfection. It wants vulnerability. But when you give it vulnerability, it can turn it into a weapon. That's when he turned to music. Music became his therapy, his voice when words weren't enough. Songs like Mask took on new meaning. They weren't just lyrics about hiding, they were confessions. They were his way of saying, I've been living under pressure so long, I forgot what it felt like to just exist. He poured everything into his music. The fear, the exhaustion, the sadness, and the strange peace that came after. Because even through the chaos, there was freedom. Once the mask was off, he had nothing left to hide behind. The illusion was dead, and with it, the fear of imperfection. People had already seen him at his most exposed. What else could they take? And that realization made him unstoppable again. He no longer cared about being untouchable or mysterious. He cared about being authentic. He began rebuilding not just his image, but his identity, one that could exist without fear. He started to connect with his audience on a more human level, talking about mental health, fame, pressure, and the toxic cycle of online culture. He showed fans that even heroes can break, even legends can bleed. And somehow, that made him more powerful than ever. Dream learned the hardest truth a creator can learn, that the internet loves you for the story you tell, not always for the person you are. But if you can survive being misunderstood, you become bulletproof. And that's exactly what he did. Dream didn't let the hate define him. He used it. He turned it into perspective, into music, into purpose. He realized that the same world that mocks you today can celebrate you tomorrow if you just keep moving. Because stories outlast noise. He once said, "People think being successful means you're living your dream. But sometimes it means you've built a dream so big, you forget to live." Now Dream lives differently. He's more present, more grounded, more human. The mask that once defined him now sits in the background, not as a shield, but as a reminder. A reminder that every great story requires risk, and that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is show your face. After the storm, there was silence. For the first time in years, Dream stopped uploading. No manhunts, no updates, no chaos, just silence. The kind that makes the internet wonder if the story is over. But for Dream, it wasn't the end. It was a restart. The mask was gone. The mystery was gone. All that was left was Clay, the human being behind the phenomenon. And for the first time in years, he had to ask himself, who am I without the mask? That's the question that haunted him. Because for so long, the mask had been more than a symbol. It was an identity. People didn't see him. They saw a character. And in a strange way, he had started to believe in that character too. The strategist, the genius, the perfect player. But when the illusion shattered, he had to face what was left, the person underneath. And that's when the real story began. Dream took a step back from YouTube. He stopped chasing the algorithm, stopped obsessing over titles and retention graphs. He started living, traveling, connecting with friends, making music, not for strategy, not for views, but for meaning. Because when you've built your life around numbers, it's easy to forget that numbers don't hug you, views don't heal you, fame doesn't fulfill you. He once said in an interview, "I had everything I thought I wanted. Success, followers, influence, and yet I didn't feel anything." I needed to find out why that why became his new purpose. Dream began channeling his creative energy into music, not as a side project, but as a mirror of his soul. Every song became a piece of therapy, every lyric a confession. He wasn't trying to make hits. He was trying to make sense of himself. In his music, you can hear the echoes of what he lived through, the isolation, the pressure, the constant expectation to be something more than human. And yet, underneath it all, there's something beautiful. Hope. A quiet belief that pain can be turned into art. That's the thing about Dream. He doesn't run from struggle. He documents it. He transforms every hardship into a lesson, every setback into a story, because he understands something that few creators ever do. You can't control how the world sees you, but you can control what you create in response. And that's what separates Dream from the rest. When most people would have disappeared, he evolved. When the internet tried to define him, he redefined himself. He started speaking about mental health, creativity, and the toxicity of fame. He started telling fans the truth, not the polished version, but the messy, human one. And his fans? They listened. Because deep down, people didn't love Dream for the mask. They loved him for what he represented. Courage, innovation, heart. They saw themselves in him, in his imperfections, his resilience, his willingness to keep creating even when the world turned against him. And that's what Dream built next. Not a new series, not a new trend, but a new philosophy. He started talking about creation in a new way. Not as a competition, but as connection. Not as perfection, but as presence. He once said something that perfectly captures this new era of his life. The best thing you can do as a creator isn't to be perfect. It's to be honest. Because honesty doesn't age. That's the kind of wisdom you only earn through fire. He's now using his platform differently, not just to entertain, but to inspire. To remind new creators that you can make something great without destroying yourself in the process. That your mental health isn't a weakness. It's the foundation of your creativity. And if you follow Dream's journey closely, you can feel that shift. The tone is different now, more reflective, more grounded, more real. He's no longer chasing a number. He's building a legacy. Because Dream has realized that his story was never just about Minecraft or YouTube or the algorithm. It was about transformation. A story about a kid who dared to test the system, then learned that the hardest system to master isn't YouTube. It's yourself. That's what makes his journey so powerful. It's not a story of endless victory. It's a story of balance, of falling apart and rebuilding stronger, of losing control and finding freedom in letting go. And if you listen closely, there's a quiet message beneath it all. You don't have to be perfect to matter. You don't have to be flawless to inspire. Sometimes, all you have to do is keep going. Because someone out there, right now, needs to see that it's possible. Dream's story isn't finished. He's still experimenting, still learning, still growing. But that's the beauty of it. He's no longer racing to the top. He's walking his own path now. And maybe that's the lesson in all of this, that success isn't about never falling, it's about never stopping. That dreams don't end when they're achieved. They evolve. So if you're watching this, wondering whether to start that channel, write that song, or chase that crazy idea, remember what Dream's story teaches us. Start, fail, learn, rebuild, and keep going, even when the world doesn't understand you. Because the truth is, they won't. Not at first. They'll doubt you, laugh at you, hate you. But one day, they'll look back and realize you were building something they couldn't see yet. That's what Dream did. He took hate, pressure, and fear and turned them into something timeless. And in doing so, he proved something simple, something powerful. You don't become legendary by being perfect. You become legendary by being real. Dream's story is not just about Minecraft, a mask, or viral videos. It's about courage, vulnerability, and the way a single person can leave an indelible mark on millions of lives. Behind the mask, life was private, calculated, and cautious. Every upload, every edit, every interaction was part of a careful plan to grow, to create, and to protect the life beyond the screen. When the decision came to reveal his face, it carried the weight of the unknown. Internet fame, by nature, is unforgiving. Criticism and hate arrived immediately, an invisible wave of judgment that could crush even the strongest creator. The reveal had to be precise, intentional, and unavoidable. It was not just a moment to be seen, but a moment to reclaim control. The mask no longer served its purpose. It had become a symbol of limitation, a barrier between who he was and who he wanted to become. Removing it meant exposure, risk, and confrontation with the darkest side of internet attention. Every viewer, every comment, every post became part of a digital jury. Emerging from that moment, the world saw a man who refused to hide. Music became the new canvas, an entirely different medium to tell stories that had previously only existed behind streams and edits. Lyrics turned grief into rhythm, fear into melody, loss into hope. Songs about mortality and friendship, about fleeting life and lasting impact, resonated with listeners on a level beyond entertainment. The first songs were a trial, an experiment in translating personal emotion into art. There were mistakes, missteps, and lessons learned, but each mistake brought growth. Vocal training, studio work, and collaboration with seasoned producers refined his sound. What once was hobby became craft, and craft became legacy. This transformation was more than professional. It was existential. Death, loss, and the realization of life's fragility became recurring themes. A close friend's passing from cancer left an indelible mark, a reminder that life is unpredictable and short. Songs like "Until I End Up Dead" emerged from this awareness, blending sadness with optimism, grief with resilience. Every line carried the weight of human experience. Every beat reinforced the urgency to live fully, create boldly, and impact meaningfully. With the mask back in use, a paradox emerged. Anonymity provided safety, while fame demanded visibility. Dream navigated this tension with precision, protecting personal life while reaching unprecedented levels of influence. Even with the protective mask, public appearances, interviews, and music videos required vulnerability. Each step forward was calculated yet brave. Each song released became a test of connection, a measure of storytelling power. Fame complicated relationships, blurred boundaries, and amplified risk. Swatting incidents and threats highlighted the darker side of internet attention, where every creative choice could invite danger. Yet these risks never deterred. Instead, they reinforced the value of preparation, caution, and intentionality. Life outside the screen demanded strategy just as much as life inside it. At the core of this journey, one principle remained: authenticity. Content, whether in Minecraft, YouTube, or music, carried the heart behind the work. The mask did not define the creator. The dedication to craft, the courage to reveal, and the desire to inspire did. Legacy is not built on views or viral trends alone. It is built on honesty, resilience, and the willingness to confront fear. The story of Dream is a blueprint for creators and dreamers. Creativity does not follow a straight line, and the path is never safe. Yet meaningful work emerges from risk, from vulnerability, and from perseverance. The mask, the face reveal, the music, the public life, they all converge into one truth. The creator behind it is human, fragile, determined, unstoppable. What remains is not the mask, the millions of followers, or the viral moments. It is the story itself. A journey from anonymity to visibility, from hobbyist to storyteller, from private creator to global influence. Every choice, every risk, every song released contributes to a living testament that human creativity thrives when paired with courage. Dream's journey proves that art, story, and legacy are inseparable from the person behind them. Fear cannot prevent creation. Criticism cannot halt growth. Loss cannot diminish memory. Every pixel, every lyric, every beat forms a bridge from the creator to the audience, connecting hearts, inspiring action, and leaving an imprint beyond the screen. The mask may conceal the face, but it cannot conceal the impact. Every listener, every viewer, every fan participates in this story. Life is short, fragile, and unpredictable. Stories endure, they inspire, they challenge, they transform. Dream's journey is not just a narrative of a Minecraft legend. It is a human story, raw, chilling, and unforgettable. A reminder that to create is to risk, to reveal, and ultimately, to leave a mark that outlives both fear and time.